See Fantasy Football Happy Hour just with Matthew Barry.
I see. Right.
Yeah,
You know,
it's tough out here.
I'm on PFT Live, too. They don't ever say anything about me on there, right? It's Mike Florio on PFT Live.
It's the humble duo.
Just chop liver over here. Yo, what's up? It's Chris Sims. It's Chris Sims Unbuttoned, and I am with some chopped liver. It's Chris Sims Unbuttoned with Connor Rodgers, all right? That's
Finally.
what it is.
Thanks,
What's up?
dude.
Damn.
Wow, that feels good.
Maybe we should get you to sign your signature right
Very
next to the
small.
logo, just like
Very
a little
tiny.
Connor
Just
Rodgers.
initial, maybe.
And then
Not
for
even-
Sunday, maybe I'll get Devin to
There
do
you
the
go.
other side. We'll do something like
love
that.
it, man.
But what's up, man? Thanks again, as always, for hosting the show. We're doing a
Fired
little
up to
something
be here.
different, right?
Yeah.
We got-
I looked at you mid-show Saturday,
Right.
Big Ten, and I was like, dude, I can't wait for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because we knew we were going to have so much to unpack.
Definitely. We got a ton to talk about. Great week in the NFL. Great Monday night game last night. We got some other things to unpack. That's what we're going to do. We're doing something a little different here, too. We're going to do we're going to do a 35, 40-minute show, and you're going to see another show tomorrow on Wednesday that'll be released, too. So I think it's cool. We're trying a little formula to see if we can throw out something to the homies every day instead of maybe 1 hour and 45-minute pod. We're going to try to break it up a little bit. The homies, let us know. We're experimenting. If you like it, if you don't, whatever. You guys are usually real with us. Keep it real with us on this one.
And a fun one to start things off. You are going to rank the debuts of the veteran quarterbacks that are on new teams because there was a lot of firepower from them. We're going to close things out by second or first guessing some controversial coaching decisions.
Right.
There was already plenty of them
good ones
that are being analyzed all over the place. But before we do any of that, Chris, we got to break down Monday Night Football, which shockingly in the second half turned into a crazy game.
Crazy game. I mean, really, almost like the night before on Sunday Night Football, where you go through 3 quarters, there is clearly one team that is way better than the other, right? The Ravens were better than the Bills for 3 quarters. I don't think the Bills were playing in desperation mode. Last night, you felt like, wow, the Vikings are hanging on for dear life. If Chicago can just make one more play here, this game's going to be over. And they blew a lot of opportunities in that. But, of course, like the big story is the 2 quarterbacks, right? And I think that's where let's hit on that.
Because everybody's going to be overanalyzing or analyzing
We'll get into that
these
stuff.
guys.
But
yes.
Let's talk about them and what we saw from each one of them.
Well, I think everybody's looking at Caleb Williams at the point of like, okay, you have Ben Johnson now.
Yeah,
It's all there for you. We like the skill talent, the rebuilt offensive line. But it's a matter of he has the first drive where it's great to see him go down the field. Surgical, take care of business. But then off the script they've been planning all week, it didn't exactly look that way.
No, it definitely didn't. And I think let's say this too. First off, I mean, these are 2 young quarterbacks. Caleb Williams, new offense, still trying to get that underneath his belt a little bit and figure all that out. And again, I can tell you, it's a crash course. I know it is. I've talked to people in Chicago. It's a crash course. He's learning a new vocabulary way to play the game. He's under the center. He's doing checks like that. So that's all new. And then, you get to play the Vikings and Brian Flores in week 1, right?
Yeah, dealing with disguised
tough.
pressures.
Exactly. There's nobody more creative and does crazy stuff. Early on in the football game, I thought it was funny because you could kind of tell, like, Flores was flustered, like, oh, man, they're doing things to me, and Ben Johnson has my number. And then we got to, like, late third quarter, and it was, like, total flip-flop. It was like Brian Flores was walking around the sideline like, wait, I finally got a feel for this. I know what they're doing. And you could tell, like, Ben Johnson was flustered.
And that's what the numbers show. Right. I mean, you look at quarters 1 through 3 when Caleb Williams was pressured, he was 4 for 4, 36 passing yards. He was averaging 9 yards per attempt. He didn't take a sack. He had basically all the answers to what they were showing him. But then, Chris, it totally changed in the fourth quarter where he's pressured 7 times. He only completes 2 of 7 attempts under pressure.
Right.
The yards per attempt falls off a cliff, 3.7, and he does take 2 sacks.
Yeah.
What did Flores figure out in the fourth quarter that Caleb could not see?
That's where I'm interested to watch the film, right? There was a number of plays where, even on replays, where Caleb got completions where I would have gone, ooh, in another 2 weeks, he's going to feel more comfortable at this play, and he's going to hit this in cut or this guy over a middle. But it's the first game of the year, and usually you tend to be a hair conservative because it's your first time, live bullets, everybody's flying around, and you don't want to just, hey, I'm going to fire the ball everywhere. But obviously, in that fourth quarter, second half, whatever, I mean, I think there was 2 things. They couldn't really run the ball, not to the extent Ben Johnson was used to running at Detroit. So play action kind of went out the window there. And then, it felt like the way they mixed things up, that, Caleb didn't like what he was seeing. There wasn't people open, at least on the few replays I saw later in the game. It didn't look like, he's missing wide open people. Troy Aikman's pretty real about usually going, he could have done that. And he made comments like that early on in the game. I didn't hear it at the end. So that makes me think that, that the Minnesota Vikings were all over things a little bit. And it became a drop-back fest that way. Yeah. And I don't think that's necessarily conducive to what the Bears wanted to do either. Bottom line is, it wasn't perfect. I get that. Early on, it looked good. This is a tough test. And Caleb Williams, I'm just a believer in him still. I know it wasn't perfect. He missed some throws last night. He missed throws, honestly, because I think he was throwing the ball too hard. He was too juiced up. The slant throw he had on the fourth down, right, that he should have hit.
He's just ripping it.
He just ripped it. There was a few throws like that I felt like a few screen passes. He was a little off target, like bubble screens to the wide receivers. Some of those things where, he wasn't as sharp as I think he'll be as we go further here. But you saw some unreal throws. You saw some unreal scrambles and throws, and you saw some scrambles, period, where you go, whoa, Caleb Williams is way faster than I think people realize. And I think those are the encouraging things. It stinks they lost. They blew the game. He's going to be mad he missed some things. Ben Johnson is certainly, in my opinion, should be mad with how he handled the game in general with some clock management and some game management. I did not think he had his best night there. But all in all, still, I think it was a positive start for the Bears, but they're going to be sick that they blew this one and lost it.
You bringing up the running is something in general I want to ask you about. Yeah. Do you think, because we saw this from Herbert, we saw this from Mahomes, we saw this from Caleb Williams, a lot of quarterbacks. Do you think we saw more running week one from places we don't always expect it because these guys are just healthy? Or do you think this is an emphasis talking point over the summer?
I think it's the modern day NFL, you got to do it. Right. You got to be able to scramble and buy some time. The defenses are too creative and too good. So for you to think I'm just going to drop back and throw balls in rhythm like I'm Joe Montana in 1989, no, that day is over. It's like if you drop back 3 times, one of those 3 times is going to be fire drill. And you're going to have to do that. So I think they're aware of that. And then I think the second part of that is it gets into what I just said. It's early in the year, and I think guys, the game's not in slow motion yet for these quarterbacks. So they rely, that's a little too tight. I don't want to put us in a bad position right here, right now. I'll run or do something that way. I think that's another one of the main reasons. I've heard how many people, Patrick Mahomes on Friday night, and then I believe Lamar Jackson, and then there was another coach where they asked what was the most important thing about first games, and it was like not being too aggressive and not turning over the ball. That's the thing that in the week one is pounded into the quarterback's brain a little bit to where they probably miss a few plays because the coaches said things like to them for the last 3 days about be careful, it's week one, we're all getting our bearings straight, let's not turn over the ball and try to play clean that way. I think that's probably the answer for me.
One more thing on Caleb, because I want to talk McCarthy in this Vikings offense where that was the tale of 2 games in its own. Tyler Dunn this weekend released a long-form series. It was kind of chronicling the 2024 Bears dysfunction.
Right.
There's the stories in there of Caleb Williams not working well with coaches, maybe questioning his work ethic. What do you think of this stuff in general, especially when a staff is let go, but the former number 1 overall pick is obviously still there, and kind of the perception of how this stuff gets out?
Well, I would bet that almost 50% of what Tyler Dunn had gotten there about the negative aspect is maybe 80% from the last coaching staff. So I don't think that's always fair. Okay. Caleb Williams, did he approach everything right last year? Probably not. I understand that. And then also, let's not forget, he's kind of thrown them under the bus a little bit with nobody was teaching me. Nobody taught me how to watch film. So they're probably like, what? Like, come on. Like, right? So he's done that a little back to them. I think that's the first place my mind goes there. The other aspect of this is, it's been a charmed life for Caleb Williams.
Yeah. He was the number 1 pick 2 years before he left school.
He's been the man since high school.
Right.
Oklahoma was like, we'll do whatever. Come here. Here's the red carpet. And then it was like, you're awesome. And then he's like, wait, there's a redder carpet out at USC now. And they're like, here's the red carpet again. And then he gets to Chicago, and it's red carpet. So, I think he's learning a little bit about football, the humbleness of it, the do's and don'ts that are kind of the rules of the NFL. I think that's part of it here. And then, you got a little bit of bitterness and things like that from an old coaching staff.
So, J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings offense.
Right.
I think first half and maybe even the first 3 quarters couldn't have looked more concerning. It's almost where you're watching the game and you're like, I'm starting to feel bad for him with how bright the lights look.
Right.
And then everything turned in the fourth quarter. I mean, you look at just the stats from the first three quarters, 7-12, 56 yards, under 5 yards per attempt. He was sacked 3 times. He was holding the ball.
Yeah.
He just wasn't processing well.
Right.
He throws the pick 6, which it was a bad decision. Fourth quarter, he really couldn't miss Chris, and it just felt like the clock was so much faster.
Definitely got comfortable within the game. Hey, just like we said about the other guy, let's just start it off there. You're in Chicago for your first start ever against the Bears, who have a little talent on your defense, and Dennis Allen ain't no cupcake preparing for that either. I mean, Brian Flores is as annoying as it gets. Dennis Allen is top 5 annoying defensive coordinator to prepare for as well. So I think there's some of that. There's nerves. There's anxiousness. He's from the Chicago area and all of that. He's got family. You haven't played football in a while? Yeah, he looked like the deer in the headlights. He did. I mean, they couldn't get out of the huddle in some plays. You don't even see that. You don't see that a lot. He couldn't call the play and hear it and get out of the huddle. I mean, every play was a rush. Here's the thing I'm most amazed by. First, his continual positive attitude through all the bad thing. Even the pick 6, you go, yeah, for sure, I'm fine. Like I can read his lips saying that. This is where Kevin O'Connell's the quarterback whisperer. I've been in these situations. I've played in games under Mac Brown and John Gruden where I didn't look good early on in the game, and I could see the panic on their face. And then it filters to everybody else. They were so like that. Like Gruden and Mac Brown, it was like, 2 drives.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Oh, no. Should we bench everybody? And it'd be like, chill out. Like, what are you doing? And why are you making everybody on the team feel unconfident? Kevin O'Connell never blinks in those situations. That's what I love about him. That's why every quarterback plays awesome for him, because they're like, hey, he's in this with me. He's not going to ride me for every little wrong decision I made. It's football. It's not perfect. I don't think he did him any favors with how he called the game early on.
Interesting.
That would be not throwing the ball enough, not enough easy completions. Ben Johnson came out firing early and got Caleb some easy completions to where he could feel good. JJ did not get that. But when he got going late in the third quarter, early fourth quarter, you see the arm power, you see the toughness, you see the underrated athleticism on the touchdown run. And even him, he had a few throws in the game where I think Justin Jefferson had the 2 drops. I'm telling you, he dropped it because he was like, holy shit, that was a fireball. That was a laser.
Thielen had one too.
Exactly. Thielen was the other one.
That was the one where you never see Thielen drop that pass.
No, but I think J.J. McCarthy and them being young and amped up, his arm just was firing the ball. Those are 2 strong arms, those 2 guys. But the way he handled the bad and then how he bounced back, very impressive by J.J. McCarthy.
A game that some people might have turned off. It had some key turning points. I think it starts in the second quarter. Chris, the Bears are up 7-3. It's 4th and 2. Minnesota 24. Caleb missed DJ Moore. One of the misses that you talked about.
Right.
It's just
look, listen, the play was there. He should hit it. There's people in his face a little bit, right? But I mean, Caleb Williams, as awesome as he is, I've seen him do that, 9 million times already in his career. So that stinks. But I'm just, how I am. I'm old school, and especially in week 1, it's 7-3. You got a young team. Just take the points. Go up 7.
Saw a lot of this in week 1.
A lot of it,
yeah.
Right? I sat there with the game at 17-12. I think early fourth quarter, and went, the game should be 23-12. They miss an easy field goal, and then they didn't kick a field goal, where I go, this shouldn't be so nerve-wracking for them. But that, those 3 points right there certainly hurt their football team.
And then you had the weird Ben Johnson challenge on the TJ Hawkinson, which was clearly not a fumble. He was,
he got emotional, I think.
It was like, we need something here.
Right, and he was just hoping. It was almost like hoping, where this is where you need somebody who's in your ear up in the box somewhere or something to go, hold on, we haven't got a good look at it. Hold on, hold on. No, don't challenge us. It felt like he was a little bit like, I saw it. He definitely fumbled, and he went with it. And it was, of course, not good there.
Do you think most NFL teams by now have a replay challenge guy that has comms to the head coach?
Yes,
in baseball, they all have that.
Yeah, I do think. I think
you've
most
got
do.
no time. You have to, right?
Yes, right.
But not a good challenge.
No.
In the third quarter, right down at the end, 49 seconds, the Bears are up 17-6. DeAndre Swift had the 12-yard reception down to the Minnesota 12. They call holding on Darnell Wright. So it's like, okay, we finally got a play we've been looking for.
Right.
1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yep.
2 plays later, you had the Caleb Williams intentional grounding.
And that was the Darnell Wright holding call that I don't think it was right.
Nobody liked it.
That was the referee's got to stop doing that. I see a guy on the ground. He must have held. Yep. No, the guy tripped and fell, and he just pushed him down to the ground more. That was not holding. And they're taught that. Make sure you see the penalty. Don't say, I think I saw something out of the corner of my eye. That was a bullshit bad call right there. That hurt the Bears, certainly.
They're also calling it a lot on the snatch, trap technique.
Right.
And that's a perfect technique. I saw multiple times this weekend they keep calling that. But like you said, because the defender's on the ground, they go, oh, he must have been helped.
Yeah, exactly right.
They need to go back to the drawing board right away on that, 'cause that's going to ruin offensive line play.
Hopefully the game's moving fast for them in week 1, 2 to where they see that stuff and get taught, not to fall victim to it.
Right. So Cairo Santos misses the 50-yard field goal, and this is where the game completely changed.
Yeah.
It just completely changed. And then even when the Bears seem like they have a shot, maybe the biggest talking point, because it's the one you leave the game with, is the kick that, there's 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. You have the 2-minute warning.
Right.
You cannot put that ball in play. And if you can't reach the end zone, just kick it out of bounds.
I don't understand this. I was texting Pete Demolitolitis what was going on, right? Even announcing the game, you got to kick it out of the end zone. No, you don't.
You don't have to.
If you kick it, out of the end zone or whatever, they get the ball at the 35, If they kick it out of bounds, they get the ball at the 40. Who
5
cares?
yards don't matter at this point in the game.
Who cares? No, it's all about the time.
Yes.
I honestly think they were even fortunate. Before they even scored, there was 2 minutes and 12 seconds left. I think after or they could kick it short of the landing zone. Like you said, there's
actually
a lot
have
of
three options.
They
are better than this.
The worst one. And I don't understand that. I was shocked by that moment. I really was. So I think that, and then also, I think they were very fortunate that, they got the touchdown with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. Okay, I would have, and I was texting Pete Demolitolitis this as it was going on, with 2:12 after the penalty. To me, I would have kicked the field goal right there. Kick the field goal.
Right.
Now you kick off, and you're going to be down 7, but there's going to be 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the football game. You still have the timeout and 2-minute warning there. You're going to have a good chance if you could stop them 3 and out. You're going to get the ball back with, a minute and 15 seconds, something like that. I thought they blew it there, but either way, they just got in before the 2-minute warning and then totally botched that right there. Kick it out of bounds. You don't do that. I just was shocked that nobody got in his ear to say that. That to me was a shocker to me.
Well, let's hear from Ben Johnson on that exact decision after the game.
Yeah, the intent was for the ball to go out of the end zone.
And was there, did you guys consider onside kick? I mean, how did that?
Yeah, it did. We felt like if we had kicked it out of the end zone and gotten the 3 and out that we would get the ball back with around 56 seconds.
Once again, you don't have to kick it out of the end zone. I don't know how many. There's only so many ways you could say it.
That question should have been asked. There.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of people were, a little flustered in this moment,
right?
Because it wasn't even a huge talking point during the game.
His first game, too.
Yeah, right.
We didn't hear the announcer saying it.
Right.
I didn't hear Troy or Buck go, "Hey, kick the ball out of bounds." I believe I read this morning that Peyton Manning was saying it on the Manning cast, which I couldn't agree with more, right? Peyton Manning, I heard, was flipping out. What are they doing?
He knows
right?
a thing or two.
I mean, first off, they kick it out of the back of the end zone to act like, we're just going to kick it. What? It's not that easy. I mean, they kick it out of the back of the end zone? It's a 70-yard kick. What are you talking about? It's not easy. So, and outdoors, like Pete's saying in my ear, 100%.
Right.
So, for everybody to just go, kick it out of the end zone. Not everybody can just do that at just asking them to do it. So, that one I was shocked by because I think so much of Ben Johnson, and I think he's a hell of a coach, as you know, and I love his edge and his chippiness and all that. But, he showed that it was his first game, too, and he's got some things to learn, too.
Let's take a look at the updated NFC North odds after Week 1. This is courtesy of DraftKings. No surprise, Green Bay right now, they are minus 120. They went into Week 1 at plus 165.
The Vikings just passed the Lions in one game.
I mean, that's pretty disrespectful once again to the Lions. I know the Lions had a rough go of it, but still,
I'm not ready to give up on them quite yet.
Plus 425 for the Lions. Their odds fall off a cliff. And then the Bears odds doubled in terms of the length. They are 12-1. The Vikings plus 270. I think that's just the faith in Kevin O'Connell.
Right. I think that's what it is. Hey, and listen, it's only going to get better.
Right.
That's how I do feel. I have too much faith in these two coaches over here. Like I've talked about with Chicago, this is some division with the coaches, the coordinators, everything. So Minnesota, McCarthy's only going to get better. They're only going to expand the offense. And I think the other thing that I liked about last night, and you heard Troy and Buck saying this a little bit, is hey, they're going to run the ball. And you could tell that. There's going to be an emphasis there. Kevin O'Connell, it's something I said late in the year last year. It's the one aspect of his offense that could go to the next level. And what I love about him is I just think he's real. He self-scouts thyself, and he's going, wait, I'm really awesome, but where can I get better? And I think he's seen Ben Johnson and McVay and LaFleur and Shanahan and go, wait, their running game and what they do off of it is a little bit more nuanced and evolved than mine, and he's making those strides as we watch him right here.
Yeah, I think the trade and extension for Jordan Mason kind of signaled that.
Definitely.
Like, where you like Aaron Jones in the past
Getting
game.
the Colts offensive linemen, right, and Fries and Kelly.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's got to be an emphasis with a young quarterback under center. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly and $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV.
Hey, just download the Sportsbook app and use promo code Unbuttoned when you sign up.
DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. We're going to take our first break. There were 7 veteran quarterbacks starting for new teams this weekend. Chris is going to rank who he was most impressed by right after this. Seven veteran quarterbacks, I would say with a fresh start, but Joe Flacco on there with the Browns.
Right.
That's a pretty familiar one right there. Geno Smith at the top of this board here, Chris.
Yeah.
Really good showing from Geno.
No question.
He ripped up the Pats secondary. Daniel Jones pretty high up on this list as well.
There's a lot of good here.
There is a lot of good, and we are going to ask you the hard questions as we always do. You're going to rank these 7 debuts.
Okay, I like it.
Break them down.
Yeah, I think it's good here. I mean, the first guy I'm going to go with, and I'm not going to say he made me the most wow plays. I'm going to go with Daniel Jones as number one here, just because of everything around it. I do think that a lot of the public was like, oh, yeah, let's watch him start today. He's going to screw it up. They're going to put Anthony Richardson in. It's Daniel Jones. And I think by the second quarter, even the people in our viewing room were like, man, Daniel Jones looks good. Like, holy crap. And it's like, yeah, and Saquon Barkley was good too, and he was on the Giants, and now you're like, whoa, right? So between
Xavier McKinney.
Exactly.
We could do this
I mean,
all
how
day.
many people
Sorry,
have left
Giants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a Giants fan right now. So I think just because of the scrutiny and just, the spotlight on him and the expectations that he was just going to choke it off and look like shit again, I will go with him, let alone, hey, I mean, come on. They put it on the Dolphins. Well, who knows what his stats would have looked like if they had to play in the second half? I mean, they really didn't play in the third quarter into the fourth. They were conservative. They ran the
Taylor
ball
off the field.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So, his stats, if that was a competitive game, I think he would have been throwing for high 300 yards. But I think the pressure around the situation, the public expectation, the way they won the game, how dominant it was, they jumped out and took advantage of every opportunity. It wasn't like it was dink and dunk. Go look at the highlights. Every throw was 10, 15, 20, 25 yards down the field. I'll go to Daniel Jones as the number one guy.
Listen, one of his biggest problems has been throwing the ball down the field.
Yes.
And in this game, he was
the stats back that up, right?
3 for 3 on 20-plus yards down the field, 84 yards and a touchdown. He took his shots down the field. And like you said, Chris, the numbers are actually limited because they really didn't need to do much in the second. DJ Giddens is out there on the field.
Right.
I mean, I love the way they use Tyler Warren in this game. He even got a carry as a fullback.
He's perfect for them.
I mean,
because Steichen can find so many ways. Like, Tyler Warren's not an expertise in route running, maybe like Colston Loveland. He's more of like, just get him in the space and get the ball and watch the hell out, right? And I think that's where he's perfect for that offense compared to where Ben Johnson wants Colston Loveland. I get that. But yeah, with the play actions and the things that he can do and the RPOs and read options there, I think he's perfect in that offense.
More alarming to you,
yeah,
Steichen with a competent quarterback or the Miami defense?
Probably the Miami defense.
Some problems here.
Miami in general.
Yeah, right. It's not just
I mean, it was lack of fight, lack of intensity. Tua looked horrible. I mean, the ball looked like it was floating in the air. He has a weak arm to begin with. It looked like it got weaker. And then I know training camp's been not great down there. And then we know that in Detroit and in Chicago, when they scrimmaged him, there was a horrible day in each one of those scrimmages, right? So, yeah, I don't think he's had a great training camp, and that filtered over, of course, to the first game.
How about this quote from Xavier Howard, who's now on the Colts, was on the Dolphins. We knew he gets the ball out pretty quick, and once we take away his first read, I feel like it's panic mode after that, and it showed yesterday.
That to me is the biggest complaint about Tua right now. We know he likes to throw it short, and then now we're throwing it short because we're trying to survive and not get another concussion, and the offense is being called that way. And I just want to go, hey, you're paying him more than double anybody on your team, but yet we're going to make sure we coddle him. And that doesn't make sense. And again, like I've said on here a few times, this is going to be my mission this year, to point out that the highest paid player on your football team should not be an issue. The best player on your team should be the highest paid. We've gotten into this. I'm sick of this. Oh, just because he's a quarterback, he gets 3 times more than everybody else. It never was like that in the old days. When the Giants were playing, my dad didn't make more than Lawrence Taylor. You know why? Because he wasn't Lawrence Taylor. I mean, period, right? Lawrence Taylor was the best player. He made the most money. And you can go down the line of all the great teams have passed, and that's what it was. And then somehow here in the last 15 years, agents have tricked the NFL that the quarterback is just worth more than everybody on the planet. And teams are ruining their teams over
I was just
this.
going to
That's
say,
what I
it's
don't
sinking
understand.
cap
It's
allocation
sinking,
for teams.
exactly right.
Like the Falcons with Kirk Cousins.
Oh, they've somehow, the media and agents have sold the public that the quarterback's going to be embarrassed if he has to walk in the locker room and only making $30 million a year. Oh, he's going to be embarrassed that he's making more than everybody, but just by a little. Like, are you kidding me? Like, get the hell out of here with that crap.
So Daniel Jones tops the list. Who's number 2?
I'm going to go Geno.
Yeah, Geno was awesome.
Geno was awesome. Again, I think a little bit of like what we just said with Daniel Jones. It's not only, they don't have tremendous firepower around them, but Jacoby Myers is better than people realize. You're going into New England. I didn't know what to expect. Chip Kelly, they don't run the ball at all. They can't do anything running the ball. They win the game because of Geno Smith and his explosive arm, period. Right? So I looked at his throws and his big plays. They were game-changing throws. They really were. Let alone, I mean, I think his talent's there. And I just felt like he was just letting it loose on Sunday. Like, just seeing it and like, here comes the fireball. He made a number of plays. Yeah, I'm going to go with him as number 2.
For how stout New England is against the run, without Christian Gonzalez, it seems scary hours in that secondary right now.
It definitely
and
does.
credit to the Raiders for letting Geno. They weren't like, oh, all we do is run the ball. It was like, no, drop back,
attack
the 2 tight ends,
attack it. Right. McCourty said it right. He goes, that's a defense there that they want to play. They want to play somebody man, and that's where Gonzalez can be like, hey, you play man, and now we can use everybody else to shut everybody else out. And, that's a big loss for them right now. They need him.
So the 3rd quarterback on the list.
Yeah, my 3rd quarterback, I'm going to go, Aaron Rodgers.
He's back.
Yes. Got the win, 4 touchdowns, aggressive, made plays down the field for the most part. Wasn't a dink and dunk fest.
They had to push the
Wasn't checked to the 3-yard throw every other play, all of that. Yeah, he was pretty tough within the pocket. He's still looking at the rush a little too much. There's no doubt about that. But again, I think the circumstances, the fact that their defense didn't play good, that they had to make big plays, you're going to the Jet Stadium, everyone wants you to fail there in that stadium. To kind of answer the bell that way, I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and they were outrushed by 129 yards.
I know.
So he didn't even have a ground game.
No,
to
exactly
lean on.
right. I mean, yes, it was pretty amazing. It really was good to see for him and the Steelers offense.
Quarterback number 4,
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields was wildly impressive.
Right. Justin Fields he threw the ball well. I mean, he was accurate. The ball went where he wanted it to go almost every time. It's not always a perfect spiral or a laser, but it doesn't matter. If it's going where it's supposed to go on time, I got no problem with that. So that, again, the running, the design runs, the way he played the game, yes, it was really happy for him, impressive, because I didn't know what to expect. I mean, we talked about this.
Summer
training camp. Summer was a little all over the place, right. But he's a gamer, and he looked like it on Sunday.
It was a great game between Rodgers and Fields and an unexpected shootout at MetLife Stadium. The 5th quarterback.
Joe Flacco. Flacco played well. The Browns were better than the Bengals. They were. The Browns messed it up. The 2 interceptions, right? I mean, I don't think they were really his fault. Could he have maybe thrown him a few inches, closer to the receiver? He was trying to protect the guys from coverage, and then the receivers did him no favors by knocking the ball in the air. But Flacco, I mean, as you could still see, I mean, he can throw it and let it go, and he stands in the pocket and got an explosive arm. Yeah, I like the way Joe looked. That game was there for the taking. They totally messed that one up.
And that's a Browns offensive line that it's declined a lot. They're not doing him a ton of favors. He kept them. It was interesting to see how they
For an old guy,
Yeah.
he does not watch the rush at all.
No, he stands in there.
He's tough. In fact, he needs to watch it a little.
Right, actually,
Sometimes
where he's
I'm
gonna
like,
get
yeah,
clobbered.
right. You're like, can you stop getting strip sacked just because you're acting like it's 7-on-7 and
Right.
nobody's there? But yeah, he is fearless that way. I have so much respect for him in that manner.
So Daniel Jones at 1, Geno Smith at 2, Aaron Rodgers at 3, Justin Fields at 4, Joe Flacco at 5. Who is number 6?
Sam Darnold 6. Not that he had a bad day, but it just wasn't anything great.
Right.
Again, I'm gonna sit here and say things I said about Seattle. Are they gonna be able to run the ball? Who's gonna be the second receiver that pops up?
I just got to ask
Yeah.
you. I mean, does Cooper Kupp have anything left in the tank?
I don't. It's questionable. I'm going to give him another game.
Right, you have to.
But again,
Yeah.
the way it looked, I wasn't like, oh, yeah, Cooper Kupp looks like he's back. He's ready to go. I know he had a big drop on a third down in an important part of the game, certainly. But, yeah, I think that's going to be a question we're going to talk about here as we go forward. Did some good things, certainly, but his team didn't help him out. And the strip sack fumble at the end, that's not his fault. I mean, that's Nick Bosa being a beast.
So number 7's Russell Wilson.
Of course.
I feel like he's
number
kind of
32,
I was
maybe,
gonna
if we
say-
just made the whole list of the
I was
NFL.
just going to say, I think he's in his own tier at number
Yeah,
7.
Right. I mean, it's not in the class of any of these guys. Again, I haven't watched that film yet, so I don't know, but it didn't look good. The offense didn't look good. He gives me no hope that way. He, misses throws that I go, you shouldn't miss that throw. And I think there's always parts of the field that he doesn't attack either. Right? So, it wasn't a good look. Now, I want to stick up for him the fact that it's the same old story with the Giants, and they can't block people. And that was an issue once again, and he was under pressure. He really was. So I feel for him that way. But, yeah, also within that, I don't think he made one play in the day where I was like, ooh, they did a good job on defense, and what a great throw, or what a great escape to make a throw, or whatever that. I saw very little of that. So, yeah, I'm definitely putting him 7.
Yeah, per Next Gen stats, the Commanders generated 22 pressures across 45 dropbacks, that rate is alarmingly high. You don't get that in the NFL. It's 5 more pressures than the unit recorded in any other game last season. We don't look at the Commanders and think, oh, man,
What
that
a
pass
pass
rush
rush.
eat you alive.
I know.
Like, this could get worse. If Andrew Thomas isn't back soon, and I don't think it's a one-man fix. That's my concern. This could get either worse for the Giants, or we got to get Jackson Dart out there.
I think it's the only reason they're not playing Jackson Dart.
Right, they're
I
afraid
think if they Russell Wilson didn't play good and the pass protection was fine, I think you'd see Jackson Dart this week. But because it was just so bad that way, I think they're like, let's not get the kid killed. Let's not. It's Dallas. They still have a pretty good pass rush, even without Micah Parsons going down to Dallas. I just think they looked at it, and that's not the right success or formula for success.
So that's how you rank them just from this week, Chris.
Yeah.
If you had to take one of these 7 guys for the rest of the season, who'd you roll with?
That is the question.
I didn't think I know mine decisively. It might surprise people. It'd be Geno.
You're going to say Geno.
Yeah.
It's Geno, Jones, or Rodgers.
Right.
And I think I'd go Geno too.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I'm scared of with Geno is that I love Geno and all that. I don't know if it's going to show up as, I think Daniel Jones has a little more support around him.
Definitely.
With the play caller, the pretty good offensive line, awesome running back, awesome tight end, and I think maybe the most underrated wide receiving corp in the NFL.
They
right?
complement each other.
They
well. They're all
complement each
different.
other well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Geno's talent excites me the most. I think Daniel Jones will have the best stats and results, I think,
fair.
as we go forward. That's what I would want to say.
All right, we're going to take our last break. When we're back, we still got plenty to go through. The controversial coaching decisions, second guess or first guess? We'll take a look after this. Second guess or first guess? Listen, it's easy to criticize coaching decisions in hindsight, Chris.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
real question is, could you actually disagree with it in real time? Got to start with Brian Callahan. And it's not that he didn't challenge Elikayo Manor's catch, which was a catch.
catch,
Like, we have the
right.
freeze frames of it. It was
Uh-huh.
a catch. I think to me, Chris, it's more that he didn't know that the elbow in qualifies as a full catch. It's almost like your ass could be in, a knee could be in. The elbow counts. He didn't know that.
No, any body part counts. Any body part counts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going down, you're like you said, if your butt cheek, your elbow, whatever, that counts. And I'm with you. I mean, this is definitely for you and me. This is second guess, of course.
Yes.
This is second guess. This is third guess. This is. I'm not buying the excuse of I knew the rule, but we hear in the presser the next day I just misspoke. Right? I think that's what you have to say, because if you say, "Oh man, I didn't even realize that was a rule," your whole fan base is going to go, "What? We have him as the head coach." Okay, so yeah, let's hear it. I know we got a little clip.
So this
here, right
this
to
is
it.
Monday's presser
Right, okay.
admitting the mistake.
And again, I know you guys are all here for the conversation about the play with Ellick and challenging the play and what I said after the game. And look, ultimately, my interpretation of the rule was wrong. I'll own it. We should have challenged the play, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. Is I'll own the mistake. We should have challenged it, and that's where it stands.
There are other people who may have been able to tell you, hey, go ahead and challenge that. What happened there?
That process and how those things get relayed, I'll keep those in-house.
So why he made that, disclaimer or really just kind of caveat after the game, he said an elbow doesn't equal 2 feet, so his foot would have had to come down as well. So the next day he did admit
he owns it.
He owned it. He didn't know the rule.
There.
But it is a little alarming that you didn't have staff
In his ear saying that.
Right.
I'm with you. Even with Ben Johnson, we were talking about, kick the ball out of bounds. You don't have to kick the ball out of the back of the end zone. Why is nobody saying that to him?
Right. You're not. These coaches aren't on an island anymore.
No. I mean, Bill Belichick's the smartest guy I ever saw in my life, and he had people talking to him in his ear, telling him, "Hey, challenge this. Right. Wait a second. Get ready for this." Right. Whether it was, Nick Caserio or what the hell's his name? The guy that was his right man forever. I know. I'm blanking on his name right now. We'll get to it either way. No, Ernie Adams. There we go.
Yeah.
Right, exactly right. So, but that now I know later on he tries to say that he knew the rule, right?
No, you can't.
But
toothpaste
to
is
me,
out of the tube.
Again, if that was the case, I think he would have stated that right there.
Right.
And that feels like he still didn't know the rule. I feel like he would have stated that right there. Right? And then I think as he gets asked that question later on, he tries, no, don't get me wrong. I knew the rule. I just misspoke. I'm not really buying any of that right here.
I think he's feeling it a lot. This is a team that had 13 penalties for 131 yards. They had 133 total yards.
Right.
So, you read some of the rumors. There was conversations about his future in the offseason. They decided to go forward with him. So it's just everything kind of compounds at this point.
The heat's on.
So this is, I think, the most interesting one of the week.
Right.
Because there's obviously multiple arguments. It's the Ravens' final drive.
Yes.
And John Harbaugh.
Right.
So full context, minute and 51 left. Baltimore's up 40-38 because the Bills missed the 2-point conversion.
Right.
They're at the 32. Buffalo has their 3 timeouts. So Derrick Henry, 1-yard run. The Zay Flowers end around that goes nowhere. Lamar Jackson hangs in and fires it 6 yards to Hopkins. Then they punted with a minute and 33 left where you knew, okay, now the game is in Josh Allen's hands. That's a decision you made.
100%.
No matter where you are on the field,
Right.
you chose to now. And the problem is with the 3 timeouts the Bills have, they also have full control of how the clock works.
Yes, right. So there's I think multiple mistakes here. The first one is in the modern day NFL, you got to throw the ball on first and second down.
So the Chargers do it.
Right, you got to. That's your one place to steal and have the advantage here down the stretch. We all know we want to run the ball out. The other team knows that.
Right.
And they know crap. So you got to steal some yards, giving them the unexpected on one of those first 2 downs. And that, to me, is where they blew it. Okay. You do the play-action boot or some sort of boot or something like that on first and second down when they're overplaying. I mean, go back and watch the game. They got 10 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. I know they've been running the ball. I understand that. But this is a different part of the game, and now they're being told, sell out to stop the run. So that's what I don't get. And you have him, just like Buffalo has him. And did you see what they did with him? They were just like, here's the ball every play. Save us. So...
And it works.
Why do Lamar Jackson, biggest moment of the game, give him the ball. Fake the run to Derrick Henry to the left, let him boot out to the right. I guarantee somebody would have been wide open, but if they weren't, then Lamar gets to run and the ball keeps to going anyways.
It's the same effect.
Put the ball in his hands. That's what I don't agree with. Also within that, okay, in this type of game, with where we are, so now you do all that. You got to run the ball on first or second down. So that was bad play calling. Now you third down. Yeah, no crap. You're going to throw the ball. Thanks. What a favor you're doing Lamar there. Right. So they know you're going to throw the ball now, right? Hopkins runs short of it, right, by about 2 yards. Right, it was about right. So now they're going to have 4th and 2. I'm usually punt the ball guy. That's usually if you've heard me enough over the years. Ahmed thinks I'm the most conservative guy ever because he's like, oh, I know what you would have done. You would have
Todd
punted
Bowles.
it, or you would have kicked the field goal, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm very much like that. This is one where I go, no. He's the other quarterback setting records in the fourth quarter right now. Have you seen your pass rush this quarter? No, neither have we. No, we haven't seen it either. They're exhausted. It's the first game of the year. They're tired. Plus, number 17's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and they're dead, the pass rush. You had to end it right there. They dropped the ball there. He dropped the ball. Unfortunate, unbelievable just way that game all went down.
I'll even add on to what you're saying. If you do go for it, and the argument to punt is you're on your own side of the field. If you don't get it, they're probably going to score with at least giving you some kind of chance.
Lamar gets the ball back again.
He gets something.
I agree.
In the other way,
that's the case. That's what I would have done. And trust me, I'm old school, but this is one here where no, I'm agreeing with you and what I just said. Right.
The Ravens fans getting a little fed up. Raven Grevin 902 trying to leave the field before the half is over is a great illustration of the John Harbaugh Ravens, ultra confident to the point of delusion, and they never stick around to finish the job. His shtick has to be getting old in Baltimore, right?
Well,
I think that's a step too far. As somebody that's watched plenty of bad coaches for a while, I don't think it's fair to just say like, hey, we got to find someone else.
No. Yeah,
but
I mean, he's been awesome.
He has to learn from this.
But yeah, and well, I think what Baltimore's sick of is going, wait, we've seen this story a lot. Nobody's blown more games down the stretch than Baltimore over the last 3 or 4 years, right? And you just go, wait, we got Lamar Jackson in this defense, and we're the team that's blowing people away. They have a little bit of the bully aspect, like I said on Monday. They're a little bit of the bullies. They go, hey, we punched you. We threw uppercuts and roundhouses. You're supposed to be knocked out. And it's like every time a team goes like, no, we're fighting back, and now we're hitting you with a jab, and we hit you. They're like, what? You were supposed to be knocked out. Like, how dare you fight back? They have a little bit of that feel to them. And, I've heard this. I don't think they hold their stars to the accountability that the rest of the team is. I brought this up with Devin a little on Sunday because, I've heard inklings of that I've heard this for a few years now. So I just question whether that. I will disagree with @RavenGreven902 in the fact that I don't think running off the field shows, like, arrogance. I think they're running off the field like, listen, the clock never gets stopped like that. Let's help make the decision for them. Let's go get in here so they can just be like, half's over. But that was, even with all this stuff we're talking about, it took 10 miracles, basically, for the Bills to stay in this football game. I still feel better about the Ravens than I do the Bills.
Yeah.
The Ravens stuff is fixable. The Bills getting plowed and run over is not fixable. I'm sorry.
Right.
So
At home.
I've seen people go, well, the road in the AFC is now going to go through Buffalo. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Did you watch that? I mean, it was one guy on fire, and the rest of the defense couldn't do anything. And a team that messed up some situations there. So, I just had to say that one more time.
The next one, this to me is complete hindsight. Mike McDonald's field goal, 3 minutes, 28 seconds left. It's tied 10-10. They're at the San Francisco 9. It is 4th and 1, but they take the points. And this was a defensive game, Chris.
Exactly.
Yes, the results are that the Niners went 68 yards and scored a touchdown, but in the moment, it didn't feel like it was a high likelihood of that.
I
it's
agree.
not Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson on the other side of the field.
I'm good with what he did.
Yes.
I'm good with what. First off, they couldn't run the ball. They weren't going to. So 4th and 1, like, we're definitely going to run up the middle for a first down. Like, what are you talking about? Your run game was average all day. So what makes you think that was going to happen as a fan? Yes, he's a defensive coach, first off. That's how they think anyways. And when their defense is playing good, he's going, man, they haven't done much today. So let's stay on them here. Right? I have no problem what he did there. I agree with everything you just said. The flow of the game, the way their defense was playing, the 49ers offense they early in the fourth quarter had the one drive that was a lot of work to get a field goal. I understand why he felt good about kicking the field goal there and going up 3.
Also, think of the context of the game. George Kittle's out with the hamstring.
Right.
Bodies are just dropping. Juwan Jennings got hurt in this game.
Totally.
mean,
I think all things, I have no problem with this decision at all. I have none. I'm first guessing that.
The last one is the one I'm most interested in your take on, and that's Mike Vrabel's late punt.
Yeah.
There's less than 5 minutes left, 4 minutes and 53 seconds. New England is down 10 points, 20-10. Yes, it is 4th and 10 at their 44.
Right.
But he punts, and the Raiders, to their credit, got a first down. one first down on the next drive. So the next time New England got the ball back down 2 possessions, there's only 1:48 left. Your offense hasn't been that good anyway. In this
No,
game.
I know. This is a tough one. I'm going to still say I agree with it.
Okay.
All right? And this is tough. I'm not saying I'm right here all the way. But, again, their offense hadn't been lighting it up. Drake May hadn't been lighting up. I think they look at 4th and 10. Okay, we're down 10. If we don't make it, they're in field goal range. Now we have to score 2 touchdowns, right? I think that changes your thought a little bit. This is where I will first get it. I'm not going to second guess this. And then I think also on top of that, here's the problem that we lose. He's not expecting the punter to kick it in the end zone for a touchback.
Right, the punter's got to do his job there.
That was part of this too. So within that, if they just kept it inside the 20, let's say, everything goes the way you'd want it to go. First down, penalty, false start, 5 yards in the Raider. Oh, great. Now they're at the 15-yard line. Let's just say they got the ball at the 20 and it was just an average punt.
Yep.
Right now they're at the 50. First and 15, -1 yard now run. Right, so you're going, wait, this is all working good, especially if the punter did his job. Like, this is exactly what we wanted, right? Now it's 2nd and 16. They run up the middle, lose 4 more yards.
There, yeah.
So again, if you punted the ball inside the 20 there, it's like they're about to be like 3rd and 20 at their 10-yard line, and that's exactly what you want. Either way, they still get what they want here for the most part, except Geno throws a dime down the right sideline,
right,
and that ruins everything. So I with where they were, the 3 timeouts, having the 2-minute warning. If you're going to pin them back, they're going, he's hoping, hey, we're going to pin them back. We're going to get the ball in good field position or good field position and go from there. I can totally understand his logic in this situation.
To your point, maybe the thought was we're going to almost start in field goal range. We're going to hit one play, kick a field goal. We keep our timeouts.
Right.
We get another stop.
Right.
Now we have a chance to tie the game.
Exactly right. That's where I think Vrabel.
You don't have to love it, but that's what he's thinking.
That's what he's thinking. Yeah. Vrabel to me is one of the best game managers I've seen really in the last 10 years. So I have no doubt that that's where his head was in that one. So I'm first guessing in that. I got no problem with it.
All right, that's it for this one. We have another episode, though.
We got another episode. Yeah. We're dropping them like flies, baby. Double header. We're coming at you on Tuesday. We're coming at you on Wednesday. We're coming at you on Thursday. You know where to find us. Let us know if you like this new little formula. Connor Rodgers, Chris Sims Unbuttoned. We'll see you on the next show that we're about to tape right now, but you won't see it till tomorrow. All right, peace out, homies. We'll see you. No more clap it up. We're done.
No,
that was on then. We're done.
Okay,
we'll find something else.
It's a new era.
All right?
Yeah.
It's Chris Sims and Connor Rodgers. We got to find our own thing.
Write in the script very small somewhere.
We'll see you in the next show. Yo, homies, it's time to watch some games. That's right. We're on to the NFL season here with Chris Sims Unbuttoned.
Hit subscribe to get our weekly picks, Sunday night recaps after every game, and much, much more.
Thanks for watching. Peace out, homies. Remember, subscribe. Peace out.